Welcome back to CBS Mornings. The fight over Texas' new abortion law is just the latest in a series of battles around Roe v. Wade. For decades after the Supreme Court upheld the right to an abortion, the efforts to challenge this controversial decision, well, it's been constant. The woman at the center of the case was known first as Jane Roe, but her real name was Norma McCorvey. She was a mother of 2 when she filed the case and a mother of 3 by the time it was decided. Jan Crawford spoke with McCorvey's oldest daughter. Her name is Melissa Mills. They spoke at her home in Texas. This is a candid conversation about a very complicated history, and this is her first TV interview.
Not everybody's meant to be a mother, and I didn't expect that of her. She was the mother she could be.
As a young girl, Melissa Mills didn't know her mother, Norma McCorvey, was known to everyone else as Jane Roe, a complicated, at times dysfunctional woman. Melissa was raised by her maternal grandmother.
How would you describe your mother?
She was really funny. She was the life of the party. I didn't think of her as a mother figure. I thought of her more like a sister because that's how our relationship was.
Melissa was almost a teenager when she realized her mother was Jane Roe, of Roe versus Wade. That's when she also learned she had 2 younger half-sisters, Jennifer Ferguson and Shelley Thornton. Shelley was the child known as Baby Roe. Journalist Joshua Prager spoke to the 3 women in his upcoming book, The Family Roe, An American Story, portions shared with The Atlantic.
I think most people have no idea that there is a Baby Roe.
We were all given up for adoption, but my grandparents adopted me, and the other 2 were given up at birth. She couldn't take care of herself, much less anybody else.
The sisters met back in 2013.
We only had like 24 hours together. It was very short, and we got as much in as we could.
According to Prager's book, Thornton refused to meet McCorvey, the woman who told the world she didn't want her.
Shelley never met her, and I think it was just too much. And I understand that when somebody, she wanted to abort her.
And she told Shelley that she expected her to thank her for not doing so.
Mom had a sick sense of humor. Her humor was pretty harsh, and she was mad at Shelley because Shelley wouldn't do a DNA test. And when Shelley wouldn't, it kind of
made her mad.
Made her mad.
As the only daughter who knew McCorvey growing up, Mills vowed she would be different.
You wanted stability and civility and family.
Family, yep.
How were you able to do that?
I guess when you want something, you do it.
What are you most proud of?
My kids.
And the way you've been able to be the kind of mother that you didn't have.
Right.
McCorvey felt she never fit in, used by both sides.
At some point, she crossed over and started speaking on the other side.
Right.
Against abortion rights.
Yeah, she felt guilty, and people made her feel bad for the part and the role that she played with the Roe versus Wade case and all the babies that were aborted through the years, and people would call her a killer. They called her Satan. They called her all kinds of terrible things. It was cruel.
McCorvey spent the last year of her life in Texas near Melissa and Melissa's 2 daughters. She died in 2017, leaving behind a legacy that remains as divisive as ever.
We all feel protective of our moms and their memories.
I felt real protective.
Yeah, it seems like I think that's human nature, right? Even if your mom has flaws, that's your mom. What was that like for you?
It was hard. I didn't want anybody to hurt her. And I felt even though she was strong, she was fragile.
She was strong but fragile. And you could see that.
Jan Crawford reporting there. It's a powerful piece, powerful interview. The Family Roe is the name for it. How fitting in a way that the complicated relationship we all have to abortion as a country is contained within Jane Roe herself, who's been on both sides of the issue.
It just goes to show you there's family drama, it seems, in all things. I think most people don't even realize that Baby Roe was actually born.
I know.
She filed the case, and then but it took so long, the baby came. So it became a moot point. I think it's interesting that Shelley, we learned her name is Shelley, didn't want to meet her mother.
And when you think about what she's been through,
you're right,
and then saying, when you want something, you just do it. I know she grew up conflicted, given everything that happened to her as a child, but now she's like, you know what, I want to be a great mother to my daughters.
Yeah, there's an endless legacy, and that's one of the better parts of this legacy.
No doubt.
We're going to be talking to the author of that book, by the way, on Monday, who actually sat down with all three of the daughters, including Shelley. I think he'll have a lot to say.
I think so, too.
It's a very big book.
Terrific
He has a lot to say.
Terrific reporter and a great writer, and this is a different kind of book for him, so I'm looking forward to it. And Jan, thank you again. Great interview.